Hey everyone, MC Thomas here. Season 6 of Cobra Kai is bound to be renewed, as the sequel series to the Karate Kid movies has been a smash hit. My guess is that we'll have to wait until around December of 2023 to see the new season, so in the meantime, I want to talk about my predictions and theories for Season 6. If you're not all caught up on Cobra Kai yet, consider this your spoiler warning. The big question surrounding the new season is if it will be the last. Showrunner Jon Hurwitz has said multiple times that they had ideas for at least 6 seasons, though it's not entirely up to him how long the show runs. Personally, I think this will be the last season, mainly because Season 5 sets up the Sekai Taikai as the world's most prestigious international karate tournament. Every season of Cobra Kai seems to go bigger, and the way they make it sound, it doesn't get much bigger than this tournament. Season 5 actually felt like a series finale the way it ended. Daniel scored a crane kick knockout against his greatest enemy, Terry Silver, who was then arrested. All of Cobra Kai's students walk out, and a lot of character arcs wrapped up nicely. Daniel and his childhood rivals are all friends, Miguel and Robbie are friends, and even Sam and Tori have become, at the very least, allies. The main loose threads leading into the next season are the upcoming Sekai Taikai, John Kreese's escape from prison, and Sensei Kim Da-eun. So, how will Season 6 play out? These are just my personal predictions, so they can be taken with a grain of salt. Let's start with the Sekai Taikai. I think it's going to have a similar structure to the Season 4 All Valley, with skills competitions, team points, and individual tournaments for males and females. We also have to hear You're the Best Around at some point during the tournament. We've heard every other song from the original movie in Cobra Kai at some point, and the world's biggest karate tournament really will determine who the best around is. It's a safe bet that Johnny, Daniel, and Chosen are all going to stick together and train their students for this tournament. But what will their dojo be called? I'm hoping they just stick with Miyagi-Do. Eagle Fang was a funny name for Johnny's dojo in Seasons 3 and 4, but Miyagi-Do karate has been around for generations, and honoring Mr. Miyagi's name on an international stage would be a better choice than creating a gag name like, say, Miyagi Fang. Season 5 established Johnny and Daniel as solid friends, so I don't think we'll see any major conflict between them moving forward. As for Chosen, we'll likely see him confess his love to Kumiko. This, along with Daniel's offer in Season 5 to visit Chosen's home, leads me to believe that we'll be heading back to Okinawa in Season 6. And it won't just be Daniel and Chosen this time. I'd love to see an episode where the 3 senseis bring the kids to Okinawa to train in Chosen's Miyagi-Do dojo. It would be a great way for them to prepare for the tournament. On the other side, Sensei Kim Da-eun was given 50% of Cobra Kai, and I assume with Silver's legal troubles, she'll be taking over Cobra Kai's operations. Her interests lie with honoring the legacy of her grandfather, Kim Sung-yeon, the originator of Cobra Kai's style of Tang Soo Do. I can see Kim Da-eun using her 50% to do what Silver always wanted to do, which is turning the Sekai Taikai into the Super Bowl of karate. But what about John Kreese? Well, after his epic escape from prison, he's a wanted man. He'll have to flee the States, and I believe he's going to meet up with Sensei Kim in South Korea. One of the Season 5 flashbacks hinted that he had a good relationship with her, so I could see them teaming up to prepare students in Kim Sung-yeon's dojo. I do think that there will be some growing tension between them, however. Kreese is all about keeping Cobra Kai's name in the spotlight. "I am Cobra Kai," is what he says to Silver as he's arrested in Season 4. Kim Da-eun, however, will probably want to rebrand and change the dojo name. After Silver's embarrassing defeat, the video exposing his cheating, and all of his students walking out, Sensei Kim wouldn't want her grandfather's legacy to be tarnished by the Cobra Kai name. But knowing what we know about Kreese, I don't think he'd respond well to this name change. As for Terry Silver, I don't see him doing much jail time, if any. He'll have the best legal representation money can buy, and his character is much too popular to take a backseat in Season 6. The Sekai Taikai has been a lifelong dream of his, so I don't see him going away quietly after his defeat in Season 5. Disgraced cheaters still can have the opportunity to bounce back and succeed. Just ask the Houston Astros. I don't see Silver playing as big a role in Season 6 as he did in 5, but Thomas Ian Griffith will still get a lot of well-deserved screen time. There are already theories out there about Silver having a terminal illness, prompted by him saying things like, "Time is the one thing money can't buy," and talk about leaving a legacy behind since he had no kids. There's also the fact that he ran into Johnny and Carmen at the hospital with no explanation as to why he was there. Silver will probably spend a few episodes fighting his legal troubles, but as I said before, he'll find a way out. He's also going to learn about Kreese's escape, and I have to imagine he'll put the pieces together of Kreese going to South Korea with Kim Da-eun. Now, here's where my predictions get a little wild. Silver goes to South Korea and finds Kreese, who confronts his former lieutenant about getting him thrown into prison. The two engage in an epic brawl, and much like Robbie and Miguel in Season 5, they get over their beef simply by fighting it out. The two went through hell and back together in Vietnam, and were best friends for years, so I think they can move past Silver's betrayal from Season 4. But Silver's return angers Kim Da-eun, who lost all her patience with him in Season 5. Not wanting to lose Cobra Kai to Silver and Kreese, she sends her army of senseis, called the Fist, after them. Kreese and Silver try to fight them off the best they can, but are overpowered. Sword in hand, Kim Da-eun goes for a death blow against Kreese, but Silver jumps in the way and sacrifices himself to save his captain. After all those years, repaying his debt to Kreese, who saved his life in the war. Silver reveals to Kreese that he was already dying, and this could lead to a surprisingly touching moment between the two Vietnam vets. Silver holds out his hand and utters his final words. Cobra Kai? Kreese returns the handshake and finishes the motto, never dies. It's then when Silver's hand grows cold and limp and slides out of Kreese's grasp. Kim Da-eun ends up sparing Kreese's life, but kicks him out of her dojo. It's here where we would finally get our John Kreese redemption story, which has been teased in Season 4. It's clear that Kreese sees himself as a father figure to Johnny, and this could be his last chance to make things right. John Kreese will join Johnny, Daniel, and Chosen to help Miyagi-Do defeat Kim Da-eun. It sounds crazy saying that out loud, but then again, the thought of Johnny, Chosen, and Mike Barnes all working together also would have sounded crazy prior to Season 5. I do think it will take some time for Johnny and Daniel to come around to the idea of having Kreese helping them. Maybe a couple of episodes, but if this really is the final season, I think the episodes will be longer, and there might even be more than 10. That would give us plenty of time to flesh out Kreese's redemption arc and make it plausible. So, how does the Sekai Taikai play out? Who wins? If this is the last season, it's safe to assume that Miyagi-Do will win. They lost the last two All-Valley tournaments to Cobra Kai, so it's time they get their win in this series. As for the individual tournaments, Samantha LaRusso seems like an easy pick to win it for the girls. She's proven herself to be a more skilled fighter than Tori and Devin, and was even able to briefly hold her own against Kim Da-eun. I can see Tori joining Miyagi-Do and competing, but I feel like her storyline in Season 6 will revolve more around her family situation. I think this will be the season where her mother dies, triggering a custody battle for her brother against her aunt. As for the boys, the easy choice to win would either be Miguel or Robbie. Robbie is now a 2-time runner-up, and it would be great to see him win one, but I still gotta lean toward Miguel, who I think is the superior fighter of the two. Miguel beat Robbie in Season 1's All-Valley, bested him in Season 2 before showing mercy, and was ready to knock him off a railing in Season 5, before showing mercy again. And at the end of the day, no matter how many new characters are introduced, the show is still about Johnny and Miguel at its core. Much like how Daniel and Mr. Miyagi were the heart and soul of the Karate Kid, Johnny and Miguel are the heart and soul of Cobra Kai. For that reason, my prediction is that Miguel gets the big win here. That being said, I do have a long shot sleeper candidate, and that's Anthony LaRusso. Hear me out. Anthony started off as a spoiled, video game obsessed brat and was never given a significant role in the show until Season 4, where he bullied Kenny thanks to some good old-fashioned peer pressure. Daniel, who was unaware of this bullying, spends a lot of time convincing Anthony to take up karate. Anthony doesn't have the patience for wax on, wax off, and because he was too young to really remember Mr. Miyagi, feels out of the loop. Anthony does start to show genuine interest in karate, and after being exposed for his bullying and humbled by Kenny, officially joins Miyagi-Do in Season 5. The problem is, we don't really get to see him fight. His main contributions were suggesting that they work together during Chosen's Egg Challenge, and uploading the video that exposes Terry Silver while everyone else protects him. It's a bit surprising that the son of the Karate Kid hasn't had a bigger role in this show. It seems like the writers have been cooking up something big for Anthony since Season 4, but he's still been somewhat underutilized, and I think Season 6 could be his time to shine. At the very least, I'd love to see him fight Robbie at some point. Watching Daniel's son fight Johnny's son would just be amazing. And to anyone who thinks it's too unrealistic for someone like Anthony to do well in the Sekai Taikai, I point you to the original Karate Kid movie, where a kid with 2 months of karate experience defeated a 2-time champion who'd been training for years. This franchise is all about the underdog. Now, it's time to talk about Shisa's Roar. There's some major foreshadowing of this in Season 4, Episode 7. When Anthony looks around Miyagi-Do, he comes across a scroll with an ancient technique. Daniel tells him it's a technique that he hopes none of them will ever have to use. The translation of the scroll reads something like, "The Chosen One will use Shisa's Roar to stop the dragon's heart, but be warned, the user may face death." The Shisa is a half-lion, half-dog beast in Okinawan folklore, and the legend says that it used a mighty roar to ward off evil. Shisa's Roar appears to be an ultimate Miyagi-Do move, meaning Daniel and Chosen are likely the only ones who could pull it off. But who is the Chosen One, and who is the dragon? And would the user really die from it? I can potentially see Daniel using this move, but I couldn't tell you for sure who he'd use it on. It's implied that he would have to use it in a life-or-death situation, so perhaps someone is trying to kill Daniel or Chosen. Could it be Silver or Kreese? Well, given my earlier predictions, I think Silver dies and Kreese joins Team Miyagi-Do, so perhaps Daniel uses it against a new enemy, maybe one of Kim Da-eun's men. While I could see Daniel getting seriously injured from doing the move, I don't think they would kill Daniel off. I mean, how can you kill off a character that's been so beloved and iconic for so many decades? This isn't Lucasfilm. We already got the fake-out death of Chosen in Season 5, so if he's the one to use Shisa's Roar in Season 6, he might actually die from it, but I really hope that's not the case. As I mentioned earlier, I do think Miyagi-Do will win the Sekai Taikai, honoring Mr. Miyagi's legacy and preventing Kim Song-yeon's aggressive style from becoming mainstream. Miyagi-Do is respected all over the world. With Silver dead and Kim Da-eun defeated, Kreese takes over Cobra Kai once again. Since he's still a wanted man in the US, he teaches the students in South Korea. He's away from the States, but he keeps Cobra Kai alive. Cobra Kai never dies. I think the personal life stuff goes as expected for all of our characters. Johnny and Carmen have their baby and get married, and Robbie and Miguel become stepbrothers. Miguel and Sam stay in their relationship, as do Robbie and Tori. I would like to see a glimpse of all the kids as they move on to adulthood. Maybe we see them in college, or in their budding careers. The Lawrence and LaRusso families stay close, and we end on a positive note, where the karate battle for the soul of the valley, and the world, has ended. It would be cool if the final scene took place on the same beach where Johnny and Daniel had their first fight. This time, the LaRussos and the Lawrences are having their own beach party. Johnny and Daniel each have a Coors banquet as they chat. Daniel mentions how, after everything that went down, the two of them made a great team. Johnny smiles, looks over, and says those famous words, "You're all right, LaRusso." End of series. Now, keep in mind, I could be completely wrong about some of these predictions, but it's still fun to speculate. There are some topics I didn't get into, like Mike Barnes potentially playing a bigger role, and a possible appearance by Hilary Swank. Julie Pierce versus Kim Da-eun? Yes, please. I'd love to hear some of your all's theories. Let me know in the comments what you think might happen in Season 6 of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is easily one of the best shows on TV right now, but I'd like to see Season 6 be its last, and end the series on a high note. Co-creator Hayden Schlossberg did mention that they have a lot of good spin-off show ideas. Ideas that immediately come to mind are a prequel series for Mr. Miyagi and a prequel series for Kreese and Silver. But there's one spin-off series that the world needs to see. They need to make a show called Binary Brothers, following the antics of Hawk and Dimitri as they navigate college. I think it would do well, and they would already have a theme song. John, Josh, Hayden, let's make this happen, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good one.